Did you see the latest research on strangulating lipoma colic? So it used to be thought that it was something that randomly just happened to older horses, but the newer research suggests that there's actually more going on than just age. So just for backup, a strangulating lipoma is a fatty mass that's attached to like the stalk inside the abdomen, and then over time that stalk can wrap around parts of the intestine and actually cut off blood supply, causing like a surgical case of colic. And we've known for years that older horses are at higher risk, and especially certain breeds can be predisposed. So like Arabians, saddlebreds, quarter horses, ponies. I actually know of a Morgan that had this. So traditionally, geldings were also thought to be of a higher risk, although this particular study didn't find that to be a significant factor. But what this study did find was an interesting connection between strangulating lipomas and metabolic disease. So horses that have experienced laminitis within the previous 12 months, especially those within the previous 4 weeks, had an increased risk of these strangulating lipoma colics. So there's an interesting connection there between laminitis, insulin dysregulation, equine metabolic syndrome, PPID, obesity, chronic inflammation, chronic stress. And researchers are suggesting that horses with these uncontrolled endocrine or metabolic diseases might be more likely to develop these fatty structures within the abdomen over time. And so the study also found that the horses whose weight and metabolic disease were actively managed had a lower risk. In other words, the concern isn't necessarily that whether a horse has metabolic disease or Cushing's, but whether the condition is well controlled. So, and it was interesting, another risk factor that they found was recent stabling change within the previous 4 weeks. So they proposed that the reduced turnout and the altered movement also affects the intestinal motility, which can actually increase the chance of the intestine becoming entrapped around these existing lipomas. So I thought this was really interesting because it highlights how interconnected these systems are. So metabolic disease does just not affect like the metabolism or just their weight. It influences the body's inflammation, obviously the insulin regulation, fat deposits, vascular function, and tissue health throughout the entire body. And so while age still remains a major factor, this research suggests that long-term metabolic health and management also plays a role. So for horse owners out there of older horses, especially those suffering from metabolic system, obesity, or Cushing's, or have a history of laminitis, this study reinforces the importance of maintaining the appropriate body conditioning, supporting that metabolism regulation, and avoiding unnecessarily management disruptions when possible. Because a lot of times those kind of horses are stuck in a stall for a while if they have laminitis, or they're stuck in their stall a lot because maybe the grass has come in and that's part of their management issue. So anyhow, I will put the article in the comments below. But if this is the kind of stuff that really you enjoy learning about and understanding the holistic way to approach metabolic disease, then come join me in the Hale and Hardy Horse Collective.